everybody, my name is Dan and this is my series of practicing English, and today I'm continue to read in the book named The Coldest Place on Earth, and it was a race of two ships, and who wins in this competition. Let's read together. Yesterday I just started at chapter 4, food depots. Food depots, which is a place where you can store your food and you can use it after it. Yes, food depots. Food depots. And this is important for you to when you come to a land, but you know this is a land where there's no one lived here. You are the first one. So if you want to explore the continent, you must have a food. I think the first thing to need is build a food depots, because food helps to live to survive. So we have lost energy from the food, and then we can't do everything like explore the new thing in this continent. So I think so. This is the food depots. Chapter 4. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. It was dark for 4 months outside the wooden house at Bramham. It was -60 degrees. The dogs lived in warm holes under the snow. The men stayed in the house and worked in their rooms under the snow. The skis and sledges came from the best shops in Norway, but Jalen wasn't happy with them. He changed a lot of things on the skis and sledges. Soon the sledges were stronger than before. The skis were better and faster too. All the Norwegians worked hard. They looked after the dogs and worked on the equipment, the sledges, ski and tents. Every day they talk about their journey to the pole and talk about it. And every day Amundsen talked about Scott. One day in midwinter he talked to his men. Let's start early before Scott. Amundsen said, remember, Scott had more men than us. He had motor sledges too. Perhaps they can go faster than us. But Jalen laughed. Oh no, they can't go faster than me, he said. On snow, nothing can go faster than Goodman on skis. We don't know, Amundsen said. You're the best skier in Norway, but you get tired, and dogs get tired too. Motor sledges don't get tired. They can go all day and all night. John Hansen laughed angrily. That's stupid, he said. Perhaps the motor sledges can go all night, but the Englishman can't. The Englishman can't win road. They don't understand snow, but we do, and they are too slow. Perhaps, Amundsen said, but I want to win this race. So we're going to start early. Do you understand? It was quiet and warm inside Braham, but Jalen looked at Amundsen and thought about the long, cold journey in front of him. He thought about the dogs in their holes under the snow and listened to the wind over the house. When road, he said quietly. On August 24th, the sun comes back on that day. We start then. But we can't, Johansson said. He looked angrily and unhappy. That's too early. We can't start them. It's dangerous and stupid. Amundsen looked at Johansson coldly. You're wrong, Johansson, he said. We want to win, remember? So we start on August 24th. Magellan listened to the winter wind outside. Okay, here the picture of inside Frahen. Yes, in Scotland, at the Cup events, no one talked about Amundsen and no one worked hard. They had good food. They played football on the snow. They wrote a newspaper, the South Polar Times, and read books. No one learns to ski. No one worked on the motor sledges. Twice, men went for long journeys across the snow. They walked and then they pulled the sledges themselves. Oak stayed at Camp Evans and looked after his ponies. And here the picture in Scotland at the Camp Evans, they had good food. It's in comparison to the Bajaham. The men work really hard because they think they must, they press themselves, they have to win this race. But in Connor, but at Scott's camp, they just have fun. They just relax and chill. Okay. Over the window in Camp Evans, Scott put a map on Antarctica. With a pen, he made the line from Camp Evans to the South Pole, and he put a little British flag at the pole. Under the map, Scott wrote day for the start of the journey. We start on November. The 3rd of November, he wrote. But as we read, Amundsen will start at the 24th of August. But Scott decided to start at the 3rd of November. So that means Amundsen start more earlier than Scott, and he about 3 months, I think so. We start on the 3rd of November, he wrote. And here the picture. Chapter 6, about start. On the 23rd of August, Norwegian sledges were ready. They took them outside. The dogs pulled them across the ice. The sun came up for a half an hour, but it was too cold. Minus 46 centigrade. They could not travel in that weather. They went back to Braham and waited. They waited 2 weeks until the 8th of September, when then with the temperature at negative 37 centigrade it started. They ran happily across the snow to the south Aitman. To the south, 7 sledges and 86 dogs. Only Storm and the cook stay behind in the freight from him. At first, everything went well. They went 28 kilometers on Saturday and 28 kilometers on Sunday. Okay, it was easy. Then on Monday, the temperatures went down to negative 56 centigrade. There were white frogs in front of their faces. They couldn't see anything. They traveled 28 kilometers. That night, in their tents, they nearly died of cold. They nearly died of cold. The next day, they stopped and made snow houses. Inside the snow houses, it was warm, but everyone was unhappy. I told you, Road, Johansson said. Even September is too early. We can travel in this cold. Do you want us to die? Let's go back and wait for a better weather. Amundsen was very angry. He was angry with Jonathan, but he was angry with himself too. He knew Jonathan was right. All right, he said slowly. We can go on to the depot at 80. We can go on the depot at 80 degrees south. Here, leave the food there, then go back. We can't do more than that. It was 37 kilometers to the depot. The winds were in their faces all day. 2 dogs died on the way. Oh, poor them. At the depot, they did not stop. They put out the food and the flags turned round and went north. At last, the wind was behind them. The dogs ran quickly and the men on the empty sledges. They went faster and faster. It was like a race. Amundsen was on Wisting sledges, and soon he Wisting and Hansen were 3 or 4 kilometers in front. Soon they were alone. They traveled 75 kilometers in 9 hours, and they reached Braham at 4 o'clock that afternoon. Magellan arrived 2 hours later with 2 more men, but the last 2, Johansen and Bestert, went more slowly. The dogs were tired. Their feet were wet and cold. They had no food and they were alone in the dark. The temperatures were negative 51 centigrade. They reached Braham at midnight. Oh my God. The next morning, John Hassan was angry. In front of everyone, he said, "You were wrong road. September was too early. I told you, but you didn't listen. And then you left us alone and we nearly died in the cold. You are the bad captain. I'm the better captain than you are." Amundsen was very angry, but at first he said nothing because he knew Jonathan were right. And then that evening, he gave a letter to Jonathan. He said, "You are coming to the pole with me. When I go south, you can take some dogs and go east to King Edward. At Edward 7 land, you can go with a Bestruk and Super Rip. You can be the first man to go there, but not the South Pole." Norwegians stayed in Braham and waited. They lay in bed, listened to the wind outside, and talked about Scott and his motor sledges. Chapter 7. Motor sledges and mountains. Scott had 2 motor sledges now. They were the first motor sledges in the Antarctic, the first on Earth. On October 20, on the 24th of October, the motor sledges started south from Cape Evans. 4 men went with them, but Scott stayed at the Cape Evans for another week. Ots was unhappy. He wrote to his mother, "We had a very bad winter here. I don't like Scott. We were here all winter, but he didn't learn to ski or drive dogs. Our equipment is bad, and he doesn't think about other people. I'm going to sleep in his tent all the journey, but I don't want to." And here the picture showed that the first motor sledge in Antarctica. On the 1st of November, Scott and Ots and 6 more men left Cape Evans. with 8 sledges and 8 ponies. The ponies walked slowly because their feet went down into the snow. It was hard work for them and they got very tired. They got tired very quickly. They traveled 13 or 14 kilometers in a day. Behind the ponies came Maris with one sledge and some dogs. Maris knew how to drive dogs. Every day Mary started 2 hours after the bunnies and arrived 2 hours before them. 5 days they found motor sledges. Mhm. Five. After 5 days, they found the sledges. Norwegians began again on the 20th of October. There were 5 men in this time: Amundsen, Magellan, Wisting, Hassel, and Hansen. They had 4 sledges and 48 dogs. There were a lot of wind and fog. On the first day, Wisting sledges suddenly stopped. The black went down. Come on, dogs, he said angrily. Pull, pull. At the first, nothing happened. Then slowly the sledge moved again. Wisting looked down over the side of the sledge. Under the snow, there was a 50-meter hole. Oh my God, a 50-meter hole. Did you see that, Amundsen? The ice want to eat us. Men, dogs, sledges, everything. The fourth day, they would reach at the pole at 80 degrees south. There were a bad snowstorm, but they found their flat easily. The next day, the men stayed in their tents, and the dogs lay in their holes under the snow. They were unhappy. They had a lot of food. They had a good equipment and they were warm. They could travel fast. And here the picture shows that the depot at 80 degrees south. Oh, that's great. They have dogs. They have dogs to carry them go faster than the motor sledges. Next morning, the snowstorm stopped and the journey began again. Today, everything is wonderful, Magellan wrote in his diary. But where's Scott? In front of us or behind? There was no one with the motor sledges. They were broken. Scott looked at them angrily. It doesn't matter, he said. Teddy Evans and his men are in front of us. They're good men. They're pulling their sledges themselves. They can get the pole on foot. Okay. Ox, look at mirrors. Ox and the ponies were tired, but Maria and the dog were not. The snow was hard for them that night. Ox rode 3 motor sledges at 1,000 pounds each. 19 ponies at 5 pounds each, and 32 dogs at 1.5 pounds each. Well, it's not my money. It's Scott's. On the 21st of November, one of the ponies died. Okay. On 11th of November, Norwegians saw the mountains. The mountains were very high, some of the highest on the earth. Magellan smiled. There's a good skiing up there, wrote, he said, but can dogs get up there too? Of course they can, Amundsen said. Come on. They left Hansel with the dogs and ski a little way up to the mountains. It was difficult, but the mountains were big and beautiful. Behind the mountains, Amundsen thought there were a high plateau of ice. That's it, Amundsen said. That's the road to the pole. Tomorrow we can bring dogs and sledges up here. But now, let's have ski race. Who can get back the camp first? Okay, they laugh and ski happily down to the west now. Snow, this like home, Magellan thought, but it's bigger than Norway and better. In the next 4 days, the dog pulled the sledge just 81 kilometers and went up to 3,000 meters. At last, Amundsen and Magellan stood up the plateau behind the mountains. They were tired, heavy men. Magellan looked at the mountains. Can the motor sled get up here? He asked. Amundsen smiled. No. He said, I don't think so, and Scott doesn't like dogs, so he were going to pull her sledges up these mountains themselves. Would you like to do that, Olaf? But John didn't answer. He smiled and skied happily way across the snow. Yes, chapter 8, across the plateau. Just wait a minute. I need to check this word because I saw it repeat 3 or 4 times, so I need to check. Plateau. PLA 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 TU PLA TEAU TEAU. How can I read this? Plateau. 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 Plateau or plateau. What does it mean? Plateau or plateau? A large area of flat land that's higher than the land around it. Plateau. Okay, plateau. Plateau. Let's see in the picture. I don't know the plateau means. Plateau. Okay, plateau. I can't see that. Plateau. Okay, here I can describe for you that which is you are you try to climb the mountain, and here the rapid spontaneous progress, and you can see it incline, and here the plateau, and here is focus, it forced progress. Plateau. In Vietnamese, it's called cao nguyên. Okay, across the plateau. On the 21st of November, the Norwegians killed 30 dogs. Why? They were happy. Kill 30 dogs. They were happy, Amundsen said, and now they're going to die quickly. We need 3 sledges, 80 dogs. Go to the pole. When the dogs were dead, the other dogs ate them. Oh, the man ate them too. They were good friends. Magellan wrote in his diary, and now they are good food. 2 days later, the dogs were fat. Then in snowstorm, they began the journey again. After the snowstorm, there were a frog, and in the frog, they got lost on the ice river with hundreds of big holes in it. They could see nothing. They could see nothing, and it was very dangerous. 4 days. In 4 days, they moved 9 kilometers. But the ice is beautiful. But Jalen wrote, blue and green and white. This is a wonderful place, but I don't want to stay a long time. After the ice, there were storm winds and bad snowstorm. They could see nothing in front of them, but every day they traveled 25 or 30 kilometers. Then on the 9th of December, the sun came out and they were at 88 degree 23rd 88 degree 88 degree 20 23 south 175 kilometers from the pole. 5 more long days, Magellan wrote. It's all snow. It that's all now. But where's Scott? For 4 days, Scott's men stayed in their tents near the mountains. There was a bad snowstorm outside. Oates wrote, it's too cold for the ponies, and our clothes and ski are bad too. The night on the 9th of December, Oates killed the ponies. They were tired and ill, and they could not walk up to the Plateau. Then Marias and his dogs went back to Chap. They can pull sledges ourselves. Scott said, we can't do it. We are strong men. There were 2 sledges and 8 men. They went 24 kilometers a day. On the 31st of December, Scott said to Teddy Evans and the men on the second sledge, you can't ski well, leave your ski here. So they pulled their sledge 24 kilometers without ski. The next day, Scott went to Teddy Evans' tent. You are ill, Teddy, he said. You can't come to the pole. Take 2 men and go back tomorrow. Teddy Evans was very unhappy. 2 men, Captain? He said, why not 3? Because Browers is going to come with me. Scott said, he's strong. We need him. But you have food for your sledge for 4 men, not 5, Evans said. And Browers has no skis. I'm the captain, Teddy, Scott said. Do you do what I say? Take 2 men and leave Browers with me. Ox wrote to his mother, I'm going to the pole with Scott. I'm pleased, I feel strong. In his diary, he wrote, my feet were really bad. They are always wet now and they don't look good. On January 4th, on the 4th of January, the man left Teddy Evans and went on. Scott, Oates, Wilson, and Edgar Evans had skis, but Rowers did not. They were 270 kilometers from the pole. The 14th of December was a warm Sunday. 5 Norwegians skied over the beautiful white snow. It was very quiet. No one spoke. They was exciting and happy. 6 more kilometers. Magellan thought, is there a British flag? I can't see a flag, but look, Hassel said. What's that over there? Magellan left his sledge and skied quickly away over the snow. What is it? He thought. Is it? No, it's nothing. It's nothing. He called. There's nothing there. Nothing. 3 kilometers. 2. Row, Hansen called to Amundsen. Go in front of me, please. It helps my dog. That's not true, Magellan thought. His dogs are running well today, but Hansel want Amundsen to be first. The first man at the South Pole. Okay, they skied on and on over the beautiful snow. Stop, Amundsen said. He waited quietly for his man. This it is, he said. Magellan looked at him. But there's nothing there. But there's nothing here, he said. Amundsen smiled. Oh, yes, there is, he said. There's something very important here, Olaf. Very, very important. What's brought us? We're here now. Is it important us? Wow. The four men stood on the snow. Look at him. Then slowly they all began to laugh. Okay. I think this is the end for today's session. Oh my gosh, it's about 30 minutes. Thank you for listening, and until next time.